welcome to Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda and we're here today with a Free Pattern Friday. Yay! Free Pattern Friday. I call this one Twister, and this is going to be very quick, very simple to do. It is assembled by using partial seams, but we'll cover that. It's not going to be hard. But first we want to do our shout out. Jessica from Jessica Dayon has a YouTube channel. Now her YouTube channel notes and the cutting instructions for Twister are going to be in the show notes below. You access them on your device by scrolling down and you're looking for see more or more info or whatever your device says. You click on that link and you'll find all sorts of things. You'll also find that we have a Facebook group, and that Facebook group is has a virtual sewing room that's open 24 hours a day. There's always somebody's in there usually, and it's lots of fun. And we also are doing the sharing pictures, we're doing fabric swaps, and mostly it's we're keeping within, let's say, the US has got their their group, and the Canadians got their group, the Europeans or UK have got their group, the Australians have their group. We're doing fabric swaps. So we're having all sorts of fun doing fun little projects that just are well, it's all for fun. You got to have fun when you're doing this thing. Now, the other thing you're going to find down there is the Zoom coordinate for our meetings, or once a month sew dates, from now until the end of December. And then in January we'll start new coordinates out. But they're a lot of fun, and you gotta come and try them out because there's so many interesting, wonderful women that are showing up, and we're having a blast. The day flies by. I started at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time here in Canada because I'm in Alberta, and we run till 5 o'clock at night. And the day just goes by poof because we're having so much fun. So, without further ado, come on in, let's get to the sewing. Okay, so we're here at the sewing machine. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the fiddly parts first. These little flip and stitch corners. Now, these are, people love these and they hate them. They're kind of a, it's kind of a love-hate thing. People hate wasting all that fabric, but I do use them as a leader ender. And I make little tinier blocks with them, but I have fun with them too, right? So now I'm just going to go up through the center of these blocks. I've got them all laid out, and we're going to sew them all the same way. And it's one of these, I don't know, I like doing these blocks actually. I find that they're really useful, You don't have to, you're not giving out weird cutting instructions to cut some, rectangle with a funny angle on the end and, like all that. So it makes our piecing a little easier, because otherwise you'd have to either be using templates or something else. Now, a few of you have noticed probably that I've got my mom's black 301A out. Yes, it was from the 50s. It's a Singer, and I just love it. She's so happy. She sat in the waiting wings for a while until the beige one was needing to go to the spa. And we pulled her out, and wow, she sews beautifully. Just beautifully. So, yes, I'm using blue thread. When I use weird colors on the back, I shorten my stitch length to 25 to 30 inches. So now I want to make sure I've got good coverage, and I just do a little finger press like that. And yes, I have good coverage, so I'm going to open it out and cut the back off. Now as I'm cutting these backs off, I'm going to run them, or I'm going to get them, just a sec. We'll get this one, and we'll flip it over. And we want to make sure we have really good coverage. That means that triangle is right at the edge, which it is. That's the only problem with these, is that you gotta, most people are impatient. They start, they start cutting before they have, good coverage, right? So that creates a bit of a problem. Okay, there we go. Then this one's a little on the skinny side, but that's okay. That's okay. Now, there we go. And the last one's still on the machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my foot to my really good 1/4 inch foot that I love. I picked up, you can pick up feet for these Singer 301As or any vintage foot. You just have to know if you got a low shank, high shank, or slant. And the 301As are all slant shanks. So if you wanted to pick up, you know, like a slant shank piece, you most certainly can. Okay. And I'm just going to get all those little triangles sewed up so I don't lose them. There. Now I'm going to get the last one. And sew that one up right away. Yeah, we've got good coverage. Okay. And we're cutting a good, not a real healthy 1/4 inch, but you know, in that 1/4 inch range. So all my triangles now, these are bonus triangles, are a little off, but that's okay. That's okay. We sew them together into a pinwheel or whatever we want to, and then we make them happen. Now the next step on this block is you got to sew your long strips together, otherwise you can't piece it. And what I do is I just take them like this, and I line them up, match them, and one right after the other. Oh, I get my little triangles off. Okay. Yeah, this is a very quick block to do. It's a nice little scrap buster. It turns into a 12.5 inch block when you're done. So that's always, you know, it's a good sized block. You only need like 35 of these blocks before you'd have a really nice twin throw. And you press to the dark, right? So, you know, this is going to go, the seam here is going to go that way, right? So you press to the dark, and you just keep rolling around through. You line up this. There we go. And you line up this. That looks so good. And we'll just move that. And with the dark up, you press like this. And you have your seam now going the perfect way for this. Okay. And the last one. So anyways, I got like my 1/4 inch foot on Amazon, and I couldn't find one here in Edmonton, so I figured, okay, that's it. We're shopping on Amazon. My husband actually went looking for it. And sometimes with these universal feet, I'm going to be honest with you guys, you have to kiss a lot of toads before you find your prints sometimes. So that is something to keep in mind. Now I'm just going to lay all the block out for you again so you can see what I'm doing. And you can see that I'm getting the last of the finger pressing done. I would stop to iron and all this, but you guys know I have fingernails, right? So it doesn't look like it's going to fit because this is a 4.5, but it does. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start. We're going to flip one of these over, and we're just going to run it part way through, like not even half, maybe a third or half or whatever. Now we're going to back stitch a couple and then go forward. There we go. And I'm just going to clip this off. Okay. So now I'm going to finger press this in. And I'm going to finger press the entire strip in, even though it's not sewn, right? Like this part here is not sewn, but I'm making an imaginary 1/4 inch seam there, right? Okay, so you can see where I kind of bent it over. Okay, so now we're going to put this back, and the next one that fits is this one. So we're going to go just partial same construction. This isn't hard. And when you're doing, let's say if you're doing a quilt, you'd have like, you know, let's say you're doing 42, you do 6x7 layout, well, you'd have them all stacked up and ready to go, right? So now instead of using that little plug leader ender, I'm going to get this done. Okay, And we'll just flip to the orange, you know, make it happen to the orange. And I gotta trim off all those little dog ears. Okay. There we go. And now, when you're doing these, I clip a little deeper when I'm doing these because I'm reducing a lot of bulk that way. But that's me. Some people only cut like this. I cut down deep, right? Okay. I know, these bonus triangles, they add up really quickly. And I've got a like pair, you know, that they look like they're all matchy-matchy. So they'll be fun in a quilt. Okay, so now I'm going to lay them out just quick like a pinwheel. And just make this happen. Now, when I am doing this layout, the only thing I want to worry about matching up is the center. So if these two didn't match up here, but I want matching there, like on the center of this block. So I'm running it through. Now this is the center of the block here. So that's the only thing I'm trying to line up and match up and make sure everything nests perfectly. The rest I don't care because I'm going to trim it off. Right? Simple. Simple little thing to do. Okay. Now, okay. So now we have another piece on, right? So we're just going to fold this out of the way, just like so. Okay, and then lay it back into its space. Now the next piece you're going to put on is this one, right? Okay, and this might be easier to work with this way. Okay, there we go. Okay, and you line up your ends. Make sure all your seams are going the right way so everything lies nice and flat. Now with the orange on the blue, it doesn't matter. Ugh, I lost bobbin chicken. Did you see that? I just lost it now. Well, I guess my luck is not improving. Oh well. That's okay. Alright. There, quick bobbin change. Well, one per video is usually good. Yeah. There we go, and we're back. We're back at the races again. Okay. Now, line everything up. Make sure when you're doing this that all the seams are being pushed the right way. Like it doesn't matter the seams in between the blue and the orange because they're both darks, right? So you don't really have to get too worried about what's going on there. Okay. Now, so you turn it over like this, you flip it, and there you go. There. Nice. So we've only got now one more piece. I'm going to get rid of this board because it's sticky. It's sticking to the... So this is the last piece we're going to put on. We're going to get this out of the way just by folding it out of the way. And we're going to line it up. And I'm going to start from the center again. And I'm going to line up this. Now if one of these is a little bit longer than the other, that's the one you put on the bottom. But they seem to be all cut the right size, which is perfect. Okay. Alright. Now. Okay. So now I flip this over. And I've just got this one seam, but I just want to finger press this out of the way. Just to make sure it's all there. So now I turn this like this. And I start here, where I finished my seam, right? So I want to get this under the seam really well. Oops, hang on. And get it so that it starts where I ended. Like it's right on top of or just beside or, you know. Okay, there we go. Now, okay. Oh, I've got a leader under here that I forgot to to do, so I guess we're going to run that through. Now, when we're running this through, the only thing I want to match up here is the center. If everything else is out because all of these things are kind of different size, that's fine, but because I'm trimming them. And I'll probably trim it to a standard size. And I just roll it under. And I make sure that that nesting is happening in the middle, so it's perfect. Even though it's a bonus block, you know, a little bonus block that you're making, you know, you need to take the time to make sure it's done right. And clip that off. Now, you can see this one is going this way, and you just can finger press this that way, because that's the way I sewed it, right? So that goes that way. So now we're at our ta-da moment. Okay, so here's Twister. It comes together very quickly with your 2.5 by 8-inch strips. So we get requests all the time to help use up your 2.5-inch strips. And this is one block that I thought would be really a lot of fun. Now, this is a 4.5-inch center, which you can easily make from your 5-inch charm squares. So we just get a bunch of coordinating fun stuff going on, and it does give the spinning effect. Now, if you could also put this on point or whatever. This comes together really quick. And as you're putting them, you know, like on rows, you don't have to match up the blues, right? Because the next blue would be down here, right? So this kind of, it's one that you don't have to worry about matching up. Now, everybody says they don't like ones with bonus triangles because they're like wasteful. They don't like doing the stitch and flips, right? Well, this is the cute little bonus block I got from this. And what I did is I made sure I matched all my points in the center, and then trimmed it to a standard size, like 2.5 inches. Like 2.5 inches for me, it can go into anything, right? So I thought, okay, we'll do a little cute little pinwheel, and we'll have some fun with this. And this won't be wasteful, right? Because the only thing I'm trimming off is the edges, right? Where you would trim your block and you would have little edges anyways. So I hope you do try this 12.5-inch unfinished block, finish the 12 in a quilt, and make a bunch of these darling little pinwheels to boot. Okay, until we meet again, I hope you have an absolutely fabulous week ahead and everything goes well with you. Okay, take care until then. Bye! My husband and I would love to thank you for all of the amazing people that we have met along this crazy YouTube adventure that we've been having. We do free speaking engagements too, so if you're part of a guild and they're looking for, you know, people to talk and, you know, and chat with, you know, in their monthly meetings, tell them that I'm doing free ones just to help the guilds out, because it's been a tough time for the guilds as well. You know, share, like, and subscribe with your friends. You know, make sure that they're, you know, they get the word out on us. That's the best way you can do to help us out. So until we meet again, I want to thank you. Okay, goodbye.